Welcome traders. There are clear decision spots after the NFP on Friday. We will review the situation on the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar yen, and Aussie. First of all though, be aware that this video is shown to a global audience, may not be suitable for everyone. Please take a look at admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact an appropriate entity. Also, please be aware that trading for exchange is considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for educational and informational purposes only, and by continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer, and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. So last week, Friday, we had the NFP, and basically the price reaction to that event was a doji. At least on the euro dollar, we see 2 wicks on both sides and a very small body indicating pretty much indecision on that day. So I think that considering the context, we see still a very big bearish daily candle, of course, during the Brexit, and we see kind of a retracement and then a downward slope so far. Now, from my perspective, I think that we're seeing a correction still, obviously, and that correction could easily continue higher to 112.50 as it zigzags up to resistance, after which a turnaround back down seems the most likely path of least resistance. So from this perspective, if I zoom into the 4-hour chart, you can see a respect for the 61.8 fib. That could be a bouncing spot for price to go up to the minus 272 target, perhaps even extend to the minus 61.8 target at 112.50 and then 113.60. Both actually could be turning spots for that downside continuation. Now, if that does not happen, I would be looking for a candle, 4-hour candle close, for instance, below 110. 110 here, very close to the 61.8 fib. That's where price stopped actually on Friday. So that's a key level, 110 and 112.50 and 113.60. Those would be the key levels I'm keeping an eye on. A close, for instance, a candle that pushes like this below it, for me indicating the potential for price to really continue down to 108. You still got a couple of levels you want to keep an eye on, 109.70 and 109.10. Those are the bottoms and key fibs. But otherwise, it does look pretty good for a breakout to the downside. You got a bit of a consolidation happening, of course, the last few days like this. We can put lines on that to mark that. So a break of those tops and bottoms would also be an indication of downside trend continuation, or perhaps a bigger correction before continuing and turning around. That's what I'll be expecting if price does move up. If price pushes above this level, that would be the invalidation level for any bearish potential. In my opinion, that's the key level for downside. I do not expect price to break above it, but if it does, then my bearish analysis is invalidated. We have live trading webinars to keep an eye on this euro dollar. On Tuesday, we take a look at trend lines. Wednesday, at wave analysis. Nanette also has his weekly recap on Monday. Wednesday, he actually takes a look at the recap of his price action trading school. And Thursday, we take a look at trading with chart indicators. Pound dollar looks like one of the best currency pairs this week. It's making a beautiful bear flag, and I think if price does stay within this bear flag, a turn at the 50 or 61.8 fibs is very likely. You can see that price is reacting very corrective like this. So from this perspective, a break below this bear flag would be a great setup for a downtrend continuation. It's actually in a mini triangle as well, so if it breaks above this mini triangle, there could be some upside correction, but I wouldn't expect price to go too far before it hits resistance, either at the 50 fib or at the 61.8 and at the top of this bear flag. A break above the 78.6 fib and above this bottom would make this bearish scenario a bit more questionable, and then I have a bit more reservation if it will happen. But any turn below the 61.8 fib, I think could easily see a downtrend continuation down to 112, 126 and 125, which are the targets here. Price is in a very neat channel. Let me draw that for you. You can see that like this, downtrend channel, pretty neatly moving lower and lower. So I think that the pound is pretty much set for downside. You can also draw the channel like this and connect the bottoms instead. There we go. And you can see pretty good channel here. So I think that as long as pound USD stays in this channel, that price is going to head lower, and looking for a move up, for a move lower. So the key levels, once again, in my opinion, 130.68 and 131.30 for a downside down to 126.50. Dollar yen basically is breaking this triangle to the upside. This is a typical zigzag potential here up to 104.40, which is the minus 272 target. Price respecting the 61.8 fib, as you can see. So if we get a 4-hour candle that pushes above like this and also closes near the high, closes above this trend line, I think that it could be a breakout, counter trend breakout that is. So a bit of retracement down to 101. Could see a bounce up to 104.40, which could be a resistance spot again as it completes basically the zigzag. Now a break above, on a daily perspective, we need to break above this top for some serious upside potential. So anything that basically stays within this top, it could make a zigzag, but I would definitely be careful as it reaches this resistance. Also for downside, it really needs to break below 100, the round level, before we can expect price to fall down to 95. So 100 and this resistance top at around 107 for the long term are very important. For the short term, it looks like we're going to get a zigzag. But let's see, first of all, how this 4-hour candle closes and if we get a bounce to the upside after it retraces. Last but not least, the Aussie in a triangle. Looking at these green trend lines, we see bullish price action, but price is caught in between these support and resistance levels. So this seems actually the least interesting currency pair at the moment. But if it does break above the resistance, price could of course head to the targets here, minus 272, minus 61.8 targets. A break of support, price could fall down to the 78.6 fib after respected the 61.8 fib here. But all in all, it seems stuck in between these levels. So I don't think that, from my perspective, this is the most interesting. I think that at this moment, pound USD seems more interesting. If it were to respect the resistance and turn back down into the downtrend or stay within this downtrend channel, dollar yen perhaps for the zigzag, and euro dollar, if it gets higher, could be very interesting for a turn, or if it breaks support for a breakout. Hope to see you in our live webinars this week and wish you all great trading. Cheers.